Thank you all for coming. Just like to acknowledge that we are on unceded Coast Nations, Coast Salish First Nations territory. We're working in issues of human rights and social justice, and we should always acknowledge that this is unceded Coast Salish territory. And other than that, I have really not much more to say except thank you very much for all coming. To the young people that wrote the essays, thank you, thank you, thank you. In terms of the essays, I have gained more knowledge reading some of these essays on how to proceed with the redress and other issues than all the stuff I've seen before, because it's nice to see it with fresh eyes. So I really want to thank you. You've been really helpful in terms of trying to move ahead what we are trying to do, which is an inclusive, just, and honorable redress. Now, the food will be coming out very shortly, and we don't really have any particular agenda tonight. We are just coming here to celebrate and to have a meal together because of all the stories we have. Because I think that what will move us forward is just the stories, the opportunities of sons and daughters and grandsons and granddaughters, you know, telling the stories of their family. And we need to do that more. And I hope to see, you know, 20 years from now, your children, the writers, the young people, your children, to pick up on what you've done. Because the bottom line is, I put it this way, and it may be a little shocking to all of you, but I put it very simple. We have a magnificent history in this country. We have an epic and heroic history in this country. And it should be recognized that our story could be the best one. That's why we're asking you to write the stories. That's why we're calling them our stories, because we not only head tax families, exclusion families, the early Chinese, the low Wakyo, we not only faced the climate, we not only faced the geography, we faced the people. And we overcame the racism of the people. We endured, we prevailed. And that is a story no other group in Canada can really tell. And we need to tell this story because we don't want that to happen again. We don't want people to be singled out because of their color of their skin, for their religion, for all their differences. We should celebrate diversity, and that's what we're doing now. We are putting our stories into the mainstream. And until we can actually get our stories into the mainstream, then we're always going to be second class. Because our stories are as good, and I'm different. I think our stories are better than all the other Canadian stories. But that's me. So, you know, like, enjoy your food, enjoy the time. I'm here for a while. We're just here to have a good time and to let you all know that the struggle still continues, that there are many people still working for an inclusive, just, and honorable redress, and we will deal with those issues as they come up. But for the time being, let's celebrate, you know, the 40 beautiful stories we got from the young people. They're going to be all up on the internet, and there's some other stories from the old people, that's myself and others, up there too, telling the story of the low Wakyo, the head tax families, the exclusion families, and the magnificent struggle we have waged and are still waging. So thank you very much for all coming. If anybody else wants to speak to this, you know, we're all here. We are, in many ways, family. Every one of us can probably trace the fact that we had, you know, forebears here 100 years ago, 150 years ago. We have a lot of common threads. That was one of the things I realized in reading a lot of the stories. And again, I can't say enough except thank you all for coming. And should also thank the Chinese Canadian National Council for putting the bill, and we're over budget now. And but we will deal with that. That's it, and enjoy your food.